Hey guys, welcome back. You want to know something? America, it's not just a place. It's a mindset, to be honest. It's land of the free, home of the brave. And it's built in our DNA. It's what sets us apart from the rest of the world. Now, in my previous video, I talked about how, America is a #1 for street smarts. It's #1 in street smarts, and it's like number 40 when it comes to book smarts. And that's fine. We'll take that. Now, why is it #1 in street smarts? We should look a little deeper into why it is #1 when it comes to street smarts. And it's for one reason. It's called history. It's called history, guys. And a lot of people wonder, why should you teach history or read about it or learn about it? And there's two reasons. There's two reasons why you should teach and learn history. Reason number one, which is kind of obvious, but maybe not for many, it's that history repeats itself, or it sure does rhyme. And we don't really want to repeat history where it's a bad thing that happens, whether it's World War II, things like that. We don't want to repeat that type of history. That's one reason why we want to teach and learn history. Now, the other reason is that we want to inspire a nation, okay? A culture. And that is why you want to teach history. Now, when I was in 9th grade, I think that the only required amount of history I had to take was something like 1 year's worth. 1 year. And then math and science and English were a required 4 years. I remember that in high school. And to be honest, I believe history should be a full 4 years. Now, it shouldn't be all boring and all that. You want to teach history in a way that's inspiring. Because what our DNA is in the United States, land of the free, home of the brave, is to be inspired by these stories. Okay, you can't teach it in a boring way. We don't want to do that. We need to inspire our youth and our children to strive to be brave, to take risks in this world, because that is what rewards you in life when it comes to building wealth, is taking risks. All of the people who took risks back in the day, they flourished when it comes to wealth. No matter what the story is, people flourished when they were brave and took the chance. Now, it doesn't always work for every side. There's always a losing side sometimes. Two sides can be brave, and there can be losing sides, no doubt. But let's look at the history, starting from the very beginning. And what I mean by beginning isn't the European settlers, to be honest. It starts before that. It starts with the Native Americans when you think about it. They were super brave because they were in little tribes at war with each other, here and there, not all the time, but here and there, they're at war with each other, super brave. That's what started this nation right from the top. And through that bravery, they learned to govern themselves and built a democracy. Okay, if you didn't know that, the Native Americans, a couple of tribes, I forget which ones it was in the Northeast, they started democracy, and it's probably because they had these problems and they became brave and fought through those problems. So that's from the very beginning. That's what inspires us. And then after that, we had some brave European settlers that jumped on a boat, a rickety boat, and decided, oh, let's try to go around the earth, and maybe we'll land on land. Maybe we'll get there. And to be honest, most of them perished. But that was some bravery right there, okay? And then when they got there, they had to be brave enough to weather the storm and grow food and settle and learn about the Native Americans there. Think about that, how difficult that would be and how brave they were to be able to take that on. And some of them flourished. Many of them didn't. Unfortunately, some of them perished. But the ones who did survive, they thrived. They built wealth beyond what anyone could have imagined back in Europe. And so then after that, we had the pioneers go out and search the nation, go out and find different rivers and tributaries that they could travel on, whether it was Lewis and Clark or Daniel Boone. We have those stories of those pioneers, and that's what inspires people today. And then after that, we have the Revolutionary War, where we've got George Washington and the founding fathers go up against the biggest military might that we've ever seen in the world before. The British. The British are coming, the British are coming. Paul Revere. That story is super important to inspire the next generation of the United States. And we need to continue to tell those stories. George Washington going over the Potomac. If you haven't heard the story, learn it. And then we can go on to the next thing, and that would be the Civil War. A lot of brave people were built and stories were told from the Civil War. Whether it was Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address or the Underground Railroad, we were fighting for a new type of nation. We wanted something new to build wealth in our nation, and that is why we are as wealthy as we are. Okay, and then after that, we had the Industrial Revolution. A lot of brave people invested in building a machine that was going to change the world, whether it be Henry Ford, we've heard those stories, and Thomas Edison, things of that nature. These brave entrepreneurs that started the country building up and growing. And then after that, we obviously had the stories of World War II, the landing on Normandy, D-Day, and all that. And we need to continue to tell those stories because it inspires the next generation to be brave and to take a risk for something bigger than what they are. That's what it all comes down to. And then after that, you had the Civil Rights Movement. Think about that, guys. People were so brave to fight what they thought was right. And it was, to be honest. You know, they fought for their culture to be created equal as what the founding fathers inspired us to do and just didn't implement it very good. So the Civil Rights Movement is a huge reason why we are so successful today. That wealth is building upon itself. We have a stronger nation from that. And then after that, or kind of around the same time, we had the space wars. We had these astronauts, these inspirational astronauts that went up in a tin can to land on the moon. Can you believe that? I honestly can't believe that people went up there back then when, you know, computers couldn't do all the stuff they can do today. It's pretty inspirational, honestly. I love that stuff. I love hearing all those stories. And to be honest, you don't even hear about all that stuff in education. You hear about it in the media. Now, I'll say that I'm not a big fan of the media in general, but when it comes to movies and documentaries about the history of our nation, we've got a good set of media when it comes to our history, and we need to preserve that and maintain that history. So, and that leads us up to today. Where are we at today? Well, we've got a lot of brave people when it comes to building the technology revolution. That's where we're at today, is we've got some extremely creative and brave entrepreneurs who are creating just unbelievable technology that you couldn't fathom 100 years ago when it comes to like AI, smartphones, social media, whatever it is. Now, I'm not saying it's all fine and dandy and good. We're going to have some tough things to come out of that for sure, but it's pushing us forward. And that's what the US is going to do. The US is going to continue to lead the charge in whatever which way it is. And yeah, that's why I think the US has the street smarts at the end of the day. It all comes down to history. And moving forward, I hope that we can continue that. I hope that our young people are inspired by history and become brave entrepreneurs, explorers, whatever it is. You know, we need to continue that. There's a reason why we want to keep pushing to outer space, because it does inspire the best of the best to push the envelope, and other technologies, no doubt. So those are my thoughts on why I believe street smarts, you know, we're number one in it, is because of history, to be honest. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you believe in history, and do you believe teaching it as much as we should? Or do you believe, not so much? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys could, take a look at my previous video. That'd be great. And thanks. Bye.